La 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 la. The Week Junior. Make a noise about bullying. So, this is about how to speak out, support others, and spread kindness. This is the November 11th, 2023 issue number 413. Let's get to started with 413. Alright. The Week Junior's big news. This week's big news itself is about King expresses regret in Kenya. We're during a visit to Kenya in November, King Charles III actually made a speech acknowledging that the British people's wrongdoings during Kenya's struggle for independence in the 1950s. Now, what actually happened between Kenya and Britain? Now, Kenya came under British rule after Britain invaded Eastern Africa at the end of the 19th century. Now, British settlers actually took control of land that had been owned by groups that had lived there for centuries. And under British rule, many of these people were actually treated very unfairly. And these included being forced to move away from homes. And eventually, this led to a rebellion against British rule by a group called the Kenyaland and Freedom Army, known as the Mama. And between 1952 and 1960, there was actually fighting between the Mama and the British authorities. And this is what happened, in which thousands of Kenyans actually died and more than 1 million were badly mistreated. On December 12 of 1963, Kenya gained independence from British rule. In 2013, the UK government announced payments of nearly £20 million to support more than 5,000 elderly Kenyans who were mistreated in the 1950s. Wow. And these wrongdoings of the past are a cause of the great sorrow and the deepest regret. And he also said that there can be no excuses for what happened during Kenya's struggle for independence. And also, the Kenya Human Rights Commission has caused Charles to make a formal apology during his visit. He does say sorry for the actions of the British soldiers. An official apology would need it to be approved by the UK government. So much politics. All right. What else happened during the visit? King Charles and Queen Camilla's 4-day visit to Kenya actually started on October 31st, and it was his first official visit to the Commonwealth country since the start of his reign. The Commonwealth is a group of 56 independent countries, most of which used to be under British rule. And during their visit, Charles and Camilla met Kenya's president, William Ruto, and Kenyan war veterans who had fought for Britain during the Second World War. And Charles also visited a library to meet with young people taking part in the Prince's Trust International's Enterprise Challenge. And this is a competition for young people that aims to improve their confidence. King Charles founded the Prince's Trust charity in 1996, and it helps young people to build skills and find work. Well, what was the reaction? Ruto actually welcomed the king's courage for addressing the wrongdoings of Britain. However, he also said that much remains to be done to help Kenya heal from whatever happened. Not gonna say more. Next up, we have to talk about UK's news, where England's changing voices. Now, researchers at the University of Essex in England have actually found out that people's accents, the way they talk, in Southeast England have changed over the last 50 years. Few people now speak in the traditional Cockney or received pronunciation, the RP accents. Cockney is an accent associated with working class people from East London, and it's famous for its rhyming slang, a kind of like code language. For example, like mince pies means eyes, and apples and pears means stairs, and RP, also known as King's English, is the way members of the royal family and posh people from wealthy backgrounds actually speak. The researchers actually recorded the voices of 193 people aged 18 to 33 and developed a computer program to group people together by their accents. And the accents were put into 3 categories: multicultural London English, Standard Southern British English, and Estuary English. And around 25% of the young people spoke MLE, and they are most likely Asian British or Black British. It is quite like Cockney, but has like influences from other languages such as Arabic, Jamaican Patois, Punjabi, Tamil, and Yoruba. People who speak with an MLE accent includes the rapper Stormzy and footballer Bukayo Saka. Estuary English gets its name from Thames Estuary, where river widens as it flows towards the sea. The accent is also similar to Cockney, and it is spoken in parts of Essex and Kent. They are close to the river, but have also spread across southeast England. Singer Adele and TV presenter Stacey Dooley actually speak about it too. And that's where I'm going to end this part. Now, let's go around the world. Where today we're just going to talk about Asian countries. Sorry, stereotypical people. Alright, first of all, Seoul. We go to Seoul in South Korea, where it's a standing room only. When Seoul Metro, a public rail transport rail service, as now only allows no chairs at all. These are no chairs at all. In fact, it actually happened since January of 2024. Around 7 million people use the Seoul Metro every day, and it gets pretty crowded. And the trial will begin in January. So yeah, Apparently they do this because of rush hours, that's the reason. Next up we have Tokyo, Japan, where samurai actually tackle litter in the city. The morning after this 2023's Halloween celebrations, a group of people dressed as samurai gathered to collect rubbish, and the group called Gomihiroi Samurai, which means litter picking samurai, actually wear wicker baskets on their back and hope to raise awareness of the problems of littering. Next up, Chengdu, China, a futuristic new museum. Now, China's newest museum, a star-shaped building on a lake, looks something from another planet. And Chengdu Station Fiction Museum was built in just 12 months, thanks to the special technology that sped up design and construction. Science fiction is a form of art that deals mostly with imagining what the future might actually look like. That sounds plausible. Alright, so what next? Should fireworks be banned? Hey, that's my idea. But then again, we're not going to do the debate. I did that before. Next up, War People, the juggling record breaker. Simeon Graham, who's 15 years old, actually taught himself a trick skill. Now, apparently, the earliest evidences of juggling dates back to thousands of years to ancient Egypt. Now, when he was 7 years old and off to school with chickenpox, Simeon Graham began watching YouTube videos to teach himself to juggle. It was the beginning of a passion, and 8 years later, he literally holds the 3 different Guinness World Records of juggling catches in 1 minute using 5 balls, 6 balls, and 7 balls. For 5 balls, 423 catches, 6 balls, 396 catches, and 7 balls, 378 catches. The 15-year-old tells the weak junior that juggling helps him to relieve stress. If he'd had a long day at school, he could just come home, put his headphones in, and juggle, and be in a different world, literally. And literally, he did all that. Simeon loves sharing his love of juggling with others, so he even offers online courses to do. Alright, next up, cats have 276 unique expressions. I will show you my cat, but it's late night. Cat has 276 unique expressions, apparently. And have you ever actually wondered what a cat's face and wondered what it was thinking? Well, according to a new study, cats actually have 276 facial expressions, which show literally how they are feeling. The research was carried out by 2 scientists at the University of California in Los Angeles in the US, and they recorded how cats looked at in a cat cafe. So they found that cats use 276 different expressions, and each expression was a mixture of different facial movements, which included blinking, licking their nose, opening their mouth, or widening or narrowing the pupils of their eyes. Pretty cute and scary when they yawn. Alright, next up, well-being. So well-being. Now, well-being is basically where we're just going to have to talk about other things. Okay, where's well-being? Making noise about bullying. Now, speaking up and being kind to others is actually pretty good for you. A difference between banter and bullying. It can be difficult to actually do a difference between just a joke or banter and bullying. If jokes are always made about the same person and target something personal like appearance, religion, or how clever they are, this could be bullying. And ask yourself, what would I feel if those comments were made on me? And if you be hurt or someone tells you it's hurting them, it's definitely not banter. Now, what is bullying? Now, bullying is when one person or group of people use their power to hurt someone else. And the Anti-Bullying Alliance, the ABA, the organization behind Anti-Bullying Week in England, Wales, Northern Ireland, says people can have power over others for literally lots of reasons. These may include older, bigger, or stronger, being able to communicate better, or being part of a group when the other person is literally on their own. Now, bullying involves using this power to hurt someone with words or actions, and it can happen face-to-face or online. Bullying is actually never acceptable because it's important to know that it's never your fault that you're being bullied. Now, make a noise about bullying. In fact, the theme about this year's Anti-Bullying Week is make a noise about bullying. And Marva Evans from the ABA says, if you see someone being bullied, you shouldn't silently accept it. Instead, you should just ask the person if they're okay, call it out, or let someone else know, and include keeping a record of what happens and when. And this would be useful when you are literally discussing about it. Haha. Alright, next up, we have to talk about entertainment. We're opening up a new world of animation. Alright, so have you actually ever wondered how animated films are made? I've actually made a few animations myself. You've seen them in the channel itself. And animation is a way of telling a story using drawing, models, or puppets instead of real people. And these are photographed over and over and over again, each time in a slightly different position. Lots of these photos are shown in a sequence. Your brain blends them together and thinks the image as moving. Animations used to be with drawings or paintings, but now they're made with computer-generated imagery, CGI. And you can also find out how the experts make the magic at Manchester Animation Festival at MAF. It runs from 12th to 30th of November in Manchester, England, and there are film screenings, workshops, and talk about these fantastic films. Some of the events are online if Manchester is too far away to visit. And Family Day is November 12th, and if you actually like to try out some animation yourself, ask an adult to sign you up for workshops. You can learn how to create your own plasticine characters and Lego models. If you just enjoy watching the results, there are lots of short films you can actually watch on the big cinema screen. You can see like the new film Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget, and hear a talk by people who made Lost Ollie. Animators from all over the world will be sharing ideas, including Abraham from Kogali Animation Studios, which made the sci-fi series Iwaja. You can literally watch it on Disney Plus. And John Pablo Reyes, who worked on Wish, Encanto, and Frozen No. 2. The Young Animator of the Year UK Awards will be held at the festival, and the winning entries will be shown, made by young filmmakers from across the UK, aged 11 to 18. And this will be pretty darn good. Other entertainment news, The Marvels! They've been in cinema since November 10th. Yay! I watched the movie myself and it was darn awesome. Starting up the multiversal saga. Yay! X-Men arriving. Yay! They didn't call Captain Monica Rambeau Photon, though. Boo! Yeah, they should call him Photon. That's about it. Next up, we have a book club, which is Mexikid. It is a graphic memoir. It's basically a comic written by a guy named Pedro Martin, and it's about his childhood in the 1970s and how he's like a U.S. citizen born by Mexican parents, and he goes back to his hometown. His mom and dad take Pedro and his 8 brothers and sisters on a 200-mile road trip back to their hometown. Their adventures, chaos, and comedy moments. It's also a chance to learn about his family history and Mexican culture. The family are on a mission to fetch Pedro's abuelita and bring him home with them, which is darn good. Yay! It's like a little click on the lock, like the satisfying click whenever you do something. Yes, that's the abuelita, the grandpa. All right, so that's about it. Is it? Nah, I'm still warming up, people. Next up, we have On Screen. Now, apparently there's this new app called YouTube Music where you can just go on YouTube and go ahead and find your latest deals. In fact, you can just go ahead and search it on the App Store. But apparently this is China, so it's not on the App Store. But there are, of course, other alternatives you can actually go ahead and use. If you search up music, that'll show you a bunch of different music. Oh wait, like seriously, Apple Music itself is a pretty darn good app. In fact, Ed Sheeran earned an award for having his music being streamed 10 million times and 10 billion times in the UK. Wow. Okay, correction. So Ed Sheeran literally earned an award just because his song was literally streamed millions of times. Wow, man, wow. And there's lots of other things to actually go ahead to. YouTube Studio has like things where you can choose the album. I show you the app, but it's on the phone I'm using to record. And you also use Apple Music. I have it here. Let me show you. I have it literally here, where you can just go in the app and press cancel, and get lots of other things too. Just choose your music, or choose your audio file, and use this to listen to it. That's pretty good. Now, Game of the Week! Cat Sandbox. Luckily, this has nothing to do with actual cat sandboxes. You just have to solve physics problems to get cats and other animals through to the other place. And another one, Website of the Week. Welcome to the White House! White House in Washington, D.C., U.S. is where the U.S. president lives and works. And the site gives you a peek behind the scenes. And you can search Welcome to the White House Google, and you can go ahead and take a tour. Next up, the water pistol fish. The water pistol fish is actually the archerfish, giving it its proper name. And this video shows how it shoots its prey by spitting water. Search the Fish with Incredible Shooting game on YouTube and you can see the action. And finally, last but not least, That's Unbelievable! A Super Spider-Man spectacular crowd! Wow! Basically, an enormous crowd of Spider fans actually gathered in Buenos Aires, Argentina, aiming to break the world record for the most people dressed as Marvel superhero at a single event. Around 1,000 Spidey fans were summoned through social media by superfan Yuki Dian. His goal was to beat the previous world record, which was set by 685 people in Malaysia in June that year. It's crazy what Spider-Man actually causes, and it gives him enormous joy. In fact, it's probably the most popular superhero in all time. Also, to be honest, Stan Lee's number one favorite superhero was the Silver Surfer, not created by him, but by his friend Jack Kirby. Oh, that was weird. Next up, choose your cinema break. Working out the best time to go to the loo during a long film at the cinema can be difficult. You don't want to miss the action, or even worse, the funniest or most important bit. However, holding your pee in can be uncomfortable and distracting, and it's not very good for you. For some long films, cinemas have actually introduced intervals, but this might not be necessary, thanks to an app that helps you solve the pee problem. Run P actually carefully identifies the best times to nip out of the cinema to the toilets and gives you a roundup of what you've missed when you've finished. Is this the truth, or are we busting to tell you the lie? Wow! And that's pretty much it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope to see you guys soon. And so until next time, Reek Jr., Shanahan Reporter out. Peace. Oh yeah, wherever you are, stay safe, stay good, smile, and don't stay up late. And always wear a helmet.